Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video for ARK. Today I'm going to be showing you how to tame a Spinosaurus. So if you guys enjoy this video, please do not forget to support me in the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description as well as in a pinned comment from myself. So, before we get into it, you need to know that Spinosauruses tend to spawn next to bodies of water, preferably rivers. For this, in order to tame it, they do like the exceptional kibble, and in order to ride it, you will need a saddle. In order to craft a saddle, you will need to be level 71, so it is a end game carnivore that you can tame. So, with that being said and done, let's get into how you tame this, and for this I will be showing you how to set up one of my favorite traps. Now, this is a fairly simple trap, and as I said before, this is a bit of an end game tame. It does require quite a bit of preparation. So before you even start setting up the trap and trying to kite the Spino into the trap, make sure that the area where you want to kite it is clear of any herbivores, because that will complicate the situation in that the Spino may end up aggroing on the herbivore instead of yourself, which is not what you want, as you want to kite it into the trap. So I'm just going to remove all of the excess meat that I've just gained, and then we will probably gamma up a tad bit because it is a bit dark and I want people to see what we are doing. So I'm going to drop all of this stuff because I don't need it, and I think I should be alright in terms of weight. Now for this, I will be using the stone dinosaur gateways. You can do this with just 4, but I am going to do it with approximately 6 dinosaur gateways. So basically what we're going to be doing is, let me just gamma up here a tad bit. That's a bit better. I'm going to kite him up this way, and obviously this is on the Ragnarok map. Also, just for information purposes, I will be running several mods to speed up the taming process. However, on official servers, it will take a lot longer in terms of waiting for the creatures to tame, but the mechanics are the exact same. So we'll set one dinosaur gateway up here. This is the one that's going to stop the Spino from following us. And then on either sides of it, we want to place 2 dinosaur gateways like so. Now you can use the stone ones. You can, of course, also use the wooden ones. When placing down the dinosaur gateways on the side, you do want to have some space, so maybe something like that. You don't want to have too much space, as whilst the Spinosaurus does have a big hitbox, if the space is too big, it will be able to get out, and that is not going to be good. Now, also note that I am doing this trap uphill. It does work better if it is on a flat surface, but we work with what we have. And so then we'll go with another set of gates about this distance. Now, one thing you need to know about the Spinosaurus is it can derp out through the dinosaur gateways, especially if doing it uphill or downhill. So you want to have the space between the first 2 gateways and the next 2 gateways quite short, and that's because it has this ability to almost climb the gates, which you will see later on. And so the idea is we're going to kite it towards the end and then run with the gate and place it and trap it in there. Now, because this is a bit of a corridor already, I've only placed them in a straight line. The last 2 sets of gates, you can also use them as a funnel system to funnel them in, but because I don't have the space to create it and I do need to run around the trap to kite it in, I have just settled for a U-shape. The idea behind it is you want to pretty much keep it in the trap as long as possible until you put down the final gate. Once you have the Spinosaurus aggroed on you, and as you can see, I've taken some damage because I've had to clear out several Spinosauruses, just pretty much fly towards the end of the trap. As you can see, it did lose aggro whilst I was in the air, but it then regained aggro. I will let it nip at me a couple of times. It does work better this way. And then I'll kind of just run around the trap, try to place it. Now, if you try and do this from the stand, for example, as you can see, it's going to kind of complicate the situation. So you do need to run around. Now, you have to do this carefully because you want the Spino to stay in the trap. And so just kind of do it that way. There we go. It's now trapped in. Now you saw, and look at its front paws. As you can see, it almost seems to be able to put its front paw on top of the dinosaur gateways. So that is why you need to be careful where you set up the trap. You do want the surface to be as flat as possible. Once it is trapped in, obviously just start tranking it. You can use, of course, both the trank arrows for this as well as the darts. I do recommend the darts. They do less damage. If you do use the trank arrows, make sure that you give it a second or two before you fire the next arrow, just so that you get the best efficiency with regard to the amount of torpor, as the arrows do continue to apply torpor after they've made contact with the Spino. That was just me getting some meat on my wyvern so that it does heal up. At this, it has taken actually quite a bit of damage. So as you can see, it's unable to get out. It is derping out, and just start tranking away until it's knocked out. You will know that it's nearly knocked out because it will want to run away, and so this is why you want to trap it. Also, the Spinosaurus has a very nice ability in that when it does touch a body of water, it gains a boost to pretty much its most important stats. So that would be attack, speed, health, I believe, and definitely damage. Also, you'll notice that sometimes the darts will connect with the creature but not apply damage. If it does not apply damage, that means it does not apply torpor. So do bear that in mind. Also, the torpidity levels on the Spinosaurus do drop rather fast, and so I therefore suggest that you bring with you plenty of narcotics just to keep it down. And if you're going like I have over here for a 150 perfect tame, then I do suggest that you use the starving method. That is because if you want that perfect tame, you don't want to be wasting your kibbles. Also, in order to protect it from any potential danger, you might want to also put some spiked walls around the trap once it has been knocked out. Now, as far as I know, the terror birds are aggressive towards the Spinos, so that could cause a bit of a problem. And generally, the terror birds and Spinos do seem to overlap in terms of spawn locations. They don't necessarily both spawn in the same locations, but the spawns of the terror birds and the spawn point of Spinosauruses tend to have a overlapping area. With regards to taming, I strongly recommend that you go for the starving technique so that you do not waste your materials. And whether you use kibble or prime meat or mutton, that's up to you. However, for this, you can always use the Dododex app. This is available both for Android as well as the Apple devices, and this will tell you pretty much how much narcotics you'll need to starve the creature and fully tame it, as well as how long you'll need to starve it for, depending on the server settings. So you will have to introduce the creature, the level of the creature, the server settings, and it will tell you everything you need to know with regards to taming it. And also, it has a very interesting feature, and that is also beneficial with regards to breeding in terms of trying to get better creatures. So it does tell you all that information. All you have to do is introduce these server settings in the app for a specific creature, of course. So as you can see, its front paw is kind of glitched into the dinosaur gateway, and that is, from what I can guess, where the biggest problem can arise, and that it sometimes might be able to get out of the trap if you don't do it right. So you need to space the gates quite well, and obviously just leave a little gap. Obviously, the uphill slope that I built the trap on is not that steep, but if it were steeper, it would have, of course, made the situation a bit more riskier. Now, I did panic there a bit. I did see the ground shake, indicating that there's a giant creature next to me, but that could have possibly been the Spinosaurus. Notice that the Spinosaurus at this point in time is not attacking the gates anymore, and also, as you saw, it does not do damage to the stone gateways, but it will most likely do damage to the wooden gateways. It depends on what resources you want to use for this. Also, when you're finished with the tame, you can just destroy the gateways and recover some of the resources back. Now, it's not attacking the gateways because it's trying to run away, and that is because the torpor levels of the Spinosaurus are very high, and so it wants to recover and then probably return back and attack me. That is a general mechanic of the AI of creatures in the game. Okay, so it should go down fairly soon. When it starts wanting to run away, be careful how you time your shot. You do not want to hit it after it has gone down, as you will still apply torpor and do damage to it, but it will affect the taming effectiveness, which of course means that you will lose out on the bonus levels. Now with the Spinosaurus down, I am going to tame it, and in order to tame it, you need to walk up to it, access its inventory, and put food in it. As I said, and I'll repeat myself here, I suggest that you go for the starting method so you don't waste any food and expensive resources. Obviously, I will not be using any narcotics, as I will be using a mod to quickly tame it so you guys can see how the whole process goes. But ideally, basically, you want the food levels of this creature to go down. I was waving my mouse cursor around the torpidity just to show you how quickly the torpor does drop on this, so you will need narcotics. So I'm going to go and get a Tame XL out of my Wyvern and then apply it to the Spino, which should instantly starve it and refresh the torpor. Once the Spino is hungry enough for an instant tame, put in the food or kibble and wait for the magic to happen. Now, I know the area is clear because I have recently cleared it, so I'm going to start removing the traps. I suggest you don't do this until the creature that you are trying to tame is fully tamed, but with this, it should not take very long. You will notice sometimes a bit of latency between feeds. So, for example, in this case, I just placed down the kibble in the Spino's inventory, but it has not yet fed. Do not panic. Sometimes this does happen, even if you're doing it legit. Just be patient. The magic will happen when the game decides it wants to happen. But this is the right kibble. It will eat eventually. It's just that sometimes the game can take a bit of time with regards to deciding to perform this action. I mean, there are a lot of things going on in the world and in the background. So obviously, while I'm waiting for this, I'm going to mount up my Wyvern just in case I need to defend my Tame. And there we go. It has started eating, so the Tame should be rather quick. So I'll just wait here for it to tame. And then I'm going to show you its wonderful ability. The Spino does have, of course, two stances. One is a quadrupedal stance. The other one is a bipedal stance. When you change the stances, this also affects the types of attacks that the Spino performs. Unlike the Rex, the Spino is quite nimble and agile, and it does have a very short turning radius, as you can see, whereas the Rex does tend to turn like a truck. So that is a big difference in terms of damage. They are pretty much on par. However, when the Spino is in water or has contact with the water, it does attack faster and do more damage, so it will be better than a Rex only in water. Now, also important to note is that Spinos can be kited away from the bodies of water where they tend to spawn and like to live. However, if you go too far with them, they will lose aggro and want to go back to the bodies of water. Just before there, you saw the two attacks. So this is the stance, and in order to change the stance on computer, you just right click on the mouse. So let's go into a body of water, and you will see the buff appear in the upper right corner of my screen. And as long as I'm in the water, I have the buff. When I exit the water, I continue to have the buff for around 30 seconds. So there we go. You can see what the buff is and what it does offer. Overall, the Spino is a pretty darn amazing creature, worth having and worth taming. I still prefer the Rexes for bosses. I think they are far better, far stronger, and far tankier. The Spino is less tankier than the Rex, but it does have its perks as well. With that being said and done, that is it. That is how you tame a Spinosaurus in Ark. So if you guys have enjoyed this video and found it useful and informative, please do not forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not? Check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel. Who knows, you might just enjoy them. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethum Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethum Discord. Links to this you can find down below in the video's description, as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.